get ahead of myself. All right, so we're recording. So everyone, welcome. So excited to be having Katie on our Zoom. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Lisa Pollnow. I'm a double diamond in the company. And I first heard of Katie last week or 2 weeks ago when we did a Zoom with Claire. And she told us about Katie, and I was like, okay, I have to interview her. Like, I need to know her secrets. What did she do? So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So Katie, if you just want to go ahead, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your story and kind of how you got started.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here on the Zoom with you guys tonight. My name's Katie, like she said. I'm a double diamond. I got started with this business last July, so I've been just a little bit over a year. My story kind of with the whole business, when I got started, I had been watching Alyssa Bilyeu for 9 months, and she just randomly friended me, and I think it's just like, I think it's a total God thing. I never, ever, ever I never accepted people that I didn't know, and I had no clue who this chick was. And something about her page, I don't know what it was, but I just was like drawn to it. And I was like, okay, I don't know what the heck It Works is. I don't know anything about this company. I'm just going to watch this chick. And I just started watching, and she kept posting about bonuses and, you know, trips that she was taking and the freedom that this business was giving her. And at that time, I was 8 months pregnant. We had a 3-year-old. I was a full-time hairstylist. I worked a lot. I didn't get to see my 3-year-old as much as I wanted. So as she's posting about all of this, I'm kind of just in the back of my mind thinking, you know, okay, could this work for me? Could I do this? I'm not a salesperson. I don't know a lot of people. I don't know if I could do this. But it just, I don't know. Something just kept bringing me back to her page, like time after time after time. And I remember sitting with my husband one night, and I was like, what if I did It Works? And he actually was friends with a girl that did It Works. And he was like, I don't know, dude. I don't think they make that kind of money. And I was like, well, what if they do? And he was like, no, they don't. He's like, but you should try it. So I was like, okay, still super nervous. Sitting there on the couch that night, it was probably like 8 or 9 o'clock. And I told Andy, I was like, all right, if this chick makes one more post tonight about stay-at-home moms or anybody wanting to be a stay-at-home mom, I'm just going to join. And he was like, all right. So literally an hour later, I'm scrolling through my Facebook, and up pops a post from Alyssa. I'm looking for moms that want to stay home with their kids. And I was like, holy balls, I have to join this company. So I literally messaged her right then, and I said, I want to join. How do I join? She could have told me it cost $8 billion. I probably would have done it because I was just so sold at that second. So I joined. And then I literally was scared out of my mind. I was terrified. I sat in like a panic for like a couple days, just like, what are people going to think? Oh my gosh. Like, I don't want to make my first post. I was terrified. And then literally as soon as I made my first post, I got good responses from people kind of right off the bat. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to roll with this. And I caught the vision, like in that first week. It was like, I could make a lot of money doing this. I'm going to go for this. Like, I could literally come home to my kids. So I went Ruby my first month. It took me a couple months after that to get to Emerald. I remember going to conference in February, and it literally changed my life. I was in Emerald going to conference. And I sat in that room, and I was like, I'm literally going to be on that stage one day. Like, I'm doing this. And I came home. I went diamond in February and double diamond in March. We've earned $73,000 in bonuses. And in July, so just after a year of joining, I got to come home to my kids. I could cry right now. It makes me cry like every time. But I get to be with my kids every single day because of this company. And it has changed our lives absolutely financially, and just kind of in every aspect. It's been amazing, and I've got a lot more to do. I've got a lot more lives to change, and I am going to the top. So that is my story. That's how I got started. And I love this company.
I love that. I feel like so many people like can relate to you because you watched Alyssa for, however long you did, and so many
Yep.
people watch. And like, did you kind of wish you got started sooner?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
We all
Yep.
did.
For sure.
Absolutely. But like, okay, so like right when you started, were you working full time? Like, how did you kind of get started and like manage your days? Like what did you do to promote to Ruby in that first month and from there on?
So kind of right from the beginning, I was working full time. And like I said, I got started in this business so I could be with my kids. I went to our Indianapolis team meeting, like my very first couple, like maybe my first 2 weeks. And I don't remember who it was. I remember somebody talking about, don't make your why your excuse. And actually the person I was talking about, you need to give up time with those people. You need to make sacrifices. You need to, just not let them be an excuse in your life. And as I was sitting there, which nothing against whoever said this, but I was just like, well, I didn't join this so that I could give up time with my kids. Like, no, thank you. I want more time with them. And I'm not sacrificing time with them to get where I want to go. I'm going to do it anyways with time. With time with them spent. And so I came home that night and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to figure out a way to do this where I'm not cutting into my family time, because it's just not something that I was willing to do. I'm still not willing to do that. I completely think that you can work this business if you want to, when it's not cutting into your family time, when it's not cutting into your full-time job or whatever it may be that's important to you, you can make it work. You have time, you just have to find the time. So that first month, I worked my butt off, don't get me wrong, but I have worked an hour a day pretty much up until I came home full-time. Because I wanted that time with my family and I wasn't willing to give it up. So I just did whatever it took. I got up an hour early, or I would stay up an hour late. I would get up, if I didn't have like a full hour in the morning to devote, I'd devote 15, 20, 30 minutes and then do the rest at night. I think probably the biggest thing is just making the most of your time, being very intentional with your time and being focused while you're actually working. So kind of like what my day would look like in the morning, I would get up early. I would kind of, I would go through my messages that I had. I would follow up with those messages or with those people. I would make my first post of the day. I would kind of think about what I wanted to post for the rest of the day. I would, check my emails, blah, 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 whatever. But that would take me like 15 minutes. And then as I was getting ready in the morning, I'd be listening to a training. And then when I was driving to work, I'd be listening to a training. It took me really like 2 minutes to post during the day, just because I already kind of had it planned out in my mind, what I wanted to talk about, what I kind of wanted my post to be. If I wanted like little like fluff posts during the day, I already had those pictures like in my phone, just ready to go. So I could just, if it was a picture of a purse or shoes or whatever, I could just be like, boop, 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 ready, go, back to work. Because I honestly didn't have a lot of time in my day when I was working full time to sit down and make posts. Like I worked like on a 30-minute schedule with clients, and I would have 2 minutes to run back. But guess what? In 2 minutes, you can post. You can make a post. You can quickly voice message somebody if you want to. And so then, so I would work the rest of my day. I would listen to trainings on my way home. I would get home. I would spend my time with my family. Put my kids to bed, whatever, hang out with my husband, and then I would work for 30 minutes to an hour, whatever I had. And it's just, I didn't let distractions get in my way. When I was sitting down and focusing for that hour, I was focused for that hour. I wasn't, watching TV or scrolling through Facebook or whatever the other distractions could be. I was focused. And that's all I did for that hour is I focused on work. So that's kind of like what my days looked like up until I came home. I just was very intentional with my time and very focused during the time that I had.
I love that. Honestly, like you literally have like no secrets. Like you literally just did like what we tell people to do, like be intentional with your time, you know, make the most of it. And that's literally
Yep.
what you did. And like when I heard about like you work an hour a day, I was like, wait, what are her secrets? Like what did she do that we don't know about? And it's literally everything that we know already. Like, and it just shows that like if you like are so intentional with your time, like you were, like you can be successful, but you have to just dedicate that time. And like we always say, like listen to trainings in the car while you're in the shower, and like it's so simple. And I love that you literally just do like everything that we preach.
It really is. You just have to do it.
So I know a lot of people are kind of like wondering, for that hour, did you like did you kind of plan what you did in that hour, or did you just kind of like wing it? Like, did you like, were you messaging potentials? Like kind of what were you doing in that hour to be making it like the best that you could?
Yep. So I think one way to make the most of your training, if you only have an hour, you better be doing what you're supposed to do in that hour. So you have to be very organized. I'm a very organized person. I just am. That's my personality. But for those of you who aren't, it's just something to really work on. Make yourself get a little bit more organized, because you'll be so much more fruitful in that hour. So I worked kind of from a 6 list, and I wrote down kind of the things that I do in my, like now I call it a power hour, and I do a couple of those throughout my day. But back when I only had time to do it once a day, this is what I did. So basically my 6 list, which is really, I've narrowed it down to 7 things. It's not really 6, but the first thing that I would do is I would follow 200 people and I would unfollow like 200 people. So I would literally just go through in the morning, and that takes you like 10 minutes, like just follow. I'd go to friends of friends or, mom groups or whatever, and follow people. So I would get all that done. And then I would add 10 people on Facebook. So literally that took me like 15 minutes. That's all I would do. Then I would go through, so that was 2 of the things on my 6 list, was follow 200, unfollow 200, and then add 10 people on Facebook. Then I would reach out to 20 new people every single day. Sometimes it would be more. Sometimes I had more time. Like, I don't know if my mom had my kids for the night or whatever, and I could work a little bit more, then I would do more. But my basic, like core 1 hour working, I would message 20 people. I would reach out to people that I had been, kind of liking their stuff back and forth, who had been commenting on my stuff, whatever, 20 new people. Then I would comment, like, and interact on Instagram for like 10 to 15 minutes. So that just consisted of, going through scrolling. If I saw a cute picture, oh my gosh, your shirt's so cute. Whatever it was, your hair is cute, your kid's cute, whatever. So I would do that, just scroll through real quick, comment, like, took me 10, 15 minutes. So that all right there took me maybe like 35, 40 minutes. And then the rest of the time I would spend like following up with potentials. The bulk of that I would do on Fridays, but I always would go through that day and just be like, who's on my mind right now that I could, really just follow up with, send a quick message, even if it wasn't about it works. But just if I thought about somebody, hey, how are you doing this week? Like, I can't wait to talk with you, blah, 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 whatever. I would do that. And then I would kind of plan out my next couple posts for the next day, and then self-development. So whether that be training, reading a book, whatever, that was what it was. So that is literally what I did in an hour block of time. Like I just worked it all in. And if you work hard for that hour, you can totally get all of that done. You can literally sit down, focus, and you just have to stay on track. Like you have to be like, okay, cool. I've got 10 minutes to follow 200 people. Go. And then I've got 10 minutes to do this. Go. I've got 10 minutes to comment and like. Go. You just have to be very, very focused. So that's what my power hour now looks like.
I love that. I feel like it's so simple, and like we just overcomplicate everything, and like we are always taught, like add people, interact, do self-development, follow up. Like and you just literally have to do it. And if you do that in like an hour, like you can get so much done. I know, like I'm over here, like I'm watching TV, and like, I think we just need to like go into like our own little like area and just focus, and you can realize like how much you really can, accomplish in that 1 hour. And obviously when you're a full-time like worker and everything, like that's literally what you have to do. And it just blows my mind how easy that is. And I'm like,
it's easy, but I mean, it's hard to actually sit down and do it, but it's easy work. You hear that all the time. It's hard work, but it's like simple hard work. But it's true. It's so true. It's just you deciding, I'm going to turn the TV off. I'm going to quit scrolling through Facebook for 30 minutes out of my hour. And I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to knock these things off my list and call it a day. Like, it is what it is. It's simple. It's just do it. That's literally all I can tell you guys is just do it. You know what to do. You just have to do it.
Yeah. And like, I feel like if we all are guilty of this. I'm guilty of this because I did it last night. Like at nighttime when you're laying in bed, you're literally going through like Instagram and like I'm like,
all the time.
Like people and interacting instead of here like looking up food posts because I'm hungry. Like,
yep.
And it's so true. It's just, I feel like everyone just overcomplicates it. And if you just really like get down to business, then you're fine. For that like hour when you were working, did you have like, I know every day kind of like differed, but did you like set a timer for that hour, or did you kind of just, I know you said like sometimes you do a little bit here and there, but like when you sit down for that hour, did you actually like set a timer, or did you just kind of sit down and then gauge your time? Or
I didn't really set a timer. I just knew like, in the morning, like if I normally would get up at 7, I'd set my alarm for 6:30 and be like, okay, I've got till 7 o'clock till I can like actually get in the shower. Let me just work. And then at night at home, I'd be like, okay, I've got a half an hour more. I got to get this done. So I would like go into my bedroom and be like, hey honey, like watch TV by yourself for a little bit. I'll be in here doing this and then I'll be back out. So, and then if it was like an hour at night, I'd be like, watch TV by yourself for an hour. I'll see you then. Or I would set my alarm for an hour in the morning, or, whatever it took is just what I did.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, I think that everybody has the time. You all have the time. I have the time, you have the time. Everybody has the time. It's just what you want to make a priority in your life. If you don't want to make this a priority, then, I mean, you're not going to go anywhere. If you want to make this a priority over something else, yes, it might take like cutting out your Netflix time or whatever, but there is time in your day. There are pockets of time where you can get stuff done. I mean, you go poop for 10 minutes and literally get a couple messages knocked out. Like, it's just what you want to do while you're sitting there doing whatever. It's just, you just have to make the time for it.
Yeah. And it's so like, we all have 24 hours in a day. It's just,
yep.
Use your 24 hours for. So obviously you were like signing up people and everything. Were you talking like when you were throughout the day, like how did you kind of like train your distributors and like for like, were you only like during that time for your hour, or was it throughout the day? Like kind of how did you manage training your new distributors to help them as much as you could, but also use that for your time?
I really have always been like, I haven't been much of like a micromanager, I feel like, in my team. I've always just been to my team like, hey, if you have questions, come ask me. I would love to answer them. And I always get back to those people within the day. But it really wasn't like when I was working, it wasn't like I had a lot of extra time in my day to go to each individual member on my team and be like, hey, how are you doing today? Hey, how's this? What can I help you with? I kind of just left it up to them. If you need me, come find me, like message me. I'll take the time out of my day to talk with you, but I don't have a lot of extra time to go hunt you down if you're not, reaching out to me. So I would it wasn't like, if somebody messaged me in the middle of the day, I would be like, oh, nope, this is not my work time. I'm not going to answer them back. I would just take 2 seconds. Voice message is literally your BFF. Like, I would take the time in my car too. Like, I'd be listening to a training and I'd be on my phone like, hey, blah, 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 whatever, to my teammate that needed help. So it just was where I could fit it in. Like I said, like those pockets of time. Talked to a lot of people on the toilet. So. Just when you have time.
I really think so, yeah. But I think that, you know, you use what we were taught, and you were so simple and basic with everything. You didn't overcomplicate it. And I think a lot of people are sitting here probably like, wow, that's literally like all you did. And you did a lot in your hour, and you utilized your time. You utilized it. You weren't like, oh, I'm going to message someone. Oh, wait, there's a dog over there. Like, you know, you were just so focused. And I think that anyone can do this business, and we've all heard it like, oh, I don't have the time, but like utilizing your time so efficiently.
Yeah. And even if you don't have like, I mean, I know there's some people that think they really don't have an hour in their day. If you can take 20 minutes and do, you know, what you're going to do really well, you can still go far in this business. You can still promote. You can still build a strong team. It just takes you being consistent and doing the same thing every day. Like if you're going to be like a bomb, like messenger, then message the crap out of those 20 minutes a day. If you're going to like comment and like, and that's all you really want to do, then be really good at that. You just have to be consistent with what you're good at and what you want to take the time to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you, like during your day, were you posting like a certain amount of times, or was it kind of just dependent on your day, how busy you were, or like, did you like use any apps to pre-plan your post, or like kind of how did you figure out how many times you're going to post and like what to post?
I remember the very first week that I was in this business, I was listening to some phone call, and it was a guy, and he said something about you always have to be posting 3 to 5 times a day. Like never, ever, ever post less than that. And I was like, all right, like that's easy enough. I can do that. So my goal always has been 3 to 5. It's generally been more towards 5 times a day, but I mean, 3 is like the minimum. Like I have literally never, ever, ever gone one single day in this business without posting at least 3 times. It's a priority to me. So if something's a priority, you make it happen no matter what. I mean, the day that I had my daughter, I posted probably 4 or 5 times. I just made it happen. And if you can plan out a little bit in the morning or the night before, kind of what you want to talk about that next day, it makes it easier for you. But I start out every morning. I always post like a positive quote or something inspirational in the morning. And then it's just like, I kind of alternate between, you know, my life, products, the business, more of my life, like fluff posts, whatever. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I'm at, I make sure to post. And like I said, like when I was working and I didn't have time during the day, I had like 2 to 5 minute slots here and there. I would just make it a priority. I would know that, okay, I've got a 5-minute break coming up. I need to make a post. And that is what I would do. I would go into the bathroom. I would make a post real quick, and I would go about my day. And then I would, you know, I'd be like, oh my gosh, okay, I've got another little break coming up here later. What can I post about then? I'd be thinking about it. And then I would make that post. And you have to just do it. I mean, it sounds so like simple and whatever, but just do it. Just do it.
You just have to be like self-determined in yourself. Like you just gotta be like, okay, I'm doing this, so I'm gonna do it. And you didn't let your excuses get in the way. Like the day you had your baby, like you still posted. Like you weren't like, oh, my baby's over there. Like I'm not. Like, you literally just did it, and it just goes to show, like, just if you want to be successful, you just have to do it.
You just have to do it.
Did you at all, like, I know some people focus more on Instagram and some people more focus on Facebook. Did you ever like just post to Instagram or just post to Facebook, or was it always kind of like you just did both?
I've always just done both because it's really easy to make a post on Instagram and then copy what I said in Instagram and then quick paste it over to Facebook and do the same thing. I'm kind of like a huge idiot when it comes to anything like technology. So I started just on Facebook. I had literally no idea about Instagram. I had 1 follower and 0 pictures. Like I had nothing when I started. I had no clue how to do it. I had to go to my little sister, and be like, hi, can you teach me how to do Instagram? Because I'm such an idiot. But I just started. Like I didn't know anything. I didn't have to know everything. I was like, hey, show me how to post a picture and make a caption and we're good to go. So I would just make a post on Instagram and then go right over and make a post on Facebook.
So simple.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay. There's a few questions here that people were asking. Let's see. Someone asked, how do you efficiently and quickly select the ones you follow and unfollow when you're doing like your ads and unfollowing people? Was there like an app you used, or how did you kind of do that?
I used to use Crowdfire, and then it kind of like changed. And so that kind of like threw me off a little bit. So now I just do everything straight from Instagram. But when I'm like choosing to follow people, I really don't like there's just no like qualifications, I guess that would be the word. I just go through follow. And then when they follow me back, then I kind of decide if I want to keep following them. Like I'll actually go through and look through their pictures, but still that literally took me and still takes me like 10 minutes. Like I'll just real quick go through, is this person another distributor? Is this person, somebody that I think I would like to have on my team? Is this somebody I think would like products? If not, unfollow. But it's just very quick. If I'm having an actual conversation with this person, I've looked into their profile a lot. But as far as following, it really, I'll follow anybody. And then if I just really think they're not, they wouldn't be a good fit for our team, or they wouldn't be interested in the products, then I just unfollow them. So it's not like a huge like decision.
Right. When you add people and they don't follow you back, do you just automatically like unfollow them, or do you give them like a few days after like interacting with them to follow you
I'll
back?
usually give them a few days. Like I still do use Crowdfire just to unfollow people. So I'll just like every couple days I'll go through that. And if they haven't, then I'll unfollow them. But I usually give them a couple days. It's not instant.
Because I just know some people, they like literally follow, and then the next day, if you're not following them back, then like they just unfollow. Sorry.
There's just a lot of times that I have followed somebody and they haven't followed me back, and then I've commented and liked on a few of their pictures, and then they followed me then, like a day or two later. So I just think, giving it a couple days, you can start maybe a little bit of a relationship with that person.
Do you like, this is kind of, well, we'll lead into that. Someone asked a question, but like when you add someone, do you immediately go and interact with them, or do you just like kind of do like select people over like those few days?
I really don't. I add people all the time, and then it's usually a while before I start interacting with them. Unless they start interacting with me first, then I will interact with them. But like kind of what I'll do is I'll go down to the followers that have been following me the longest, and I'll go through and just pick, maybe 10 of them, and like and comment on their stuff for a little bit, and then I'll message them.
Yeah. So like so freaking simple. Here still, because like I'm trying to figure out like how do I want to follow people, unfollow, interact, because you just adding 200 people a day like seems so much. So it's like just kind of pick and choose as you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another question is from Mandy. When you reached out to at least the 20 people a day, what did that look like? Was it cold messaging, or were you following them for a while and then message them, or kind of how did you go about that?
I've kind of gone back and forth. I've listened to a ton of different trainings. And some, back in the day, I would cold message all the time. I just bam, 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 knock those 20 out. And then it kind of got more to the point, okay, I want to like and comment on these people's stuff, like more. So I would do that. And then I would message those people. So like one day I'd be liking and commenting. The next day I would be commenting or messaging. And then I always had people to message because I was always liking, commenting, and interacting. And then that's kind of been my approach lately as well. So I just try to build relationships with people and then message them. And I feel like if you are building relationships with people every single day, you won't run out of people to message every day. So you'll always have new people that you can talk to. Yeah, that's kind of how I did it.
I mean, that's like, it seems like, I feel like when I used to cold message all the time, and I feel like after a while people are just like, all right, I feel like it's like a spammy message. So I feel like you have to you have to interact with people more nowadays, because they can tell like when you're not really being real with them.
They can tell right off the bat. And I feel like it's just a lot of work with not a ton of return. Like when I would cold message all the time, I'd be cold messaging like a crap load of people and maybe like, pique the interest of 5 out of all those people. So it's like, why am I spending all my time messaging all these people and getting no return? So I might as well do a smaller amount of people, build the relationship, and get actually more out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they always say like you have to find your ratio, but I feel like the more personal you are, the more you're going to get in return, because you're
so true.
You're being more personal with them.
Yeah.
Another question was, did you ever separate Facebook and Instagram accounts? Like, did you build a business one, or did you just use your personal ones?
Personal always. I think if you guys can find a way, I think it's easier, first of all, to just find stuff to post about. But if you can find a way to like marry this business into your life, it will work out so much better for you. It's easier to post about. It's easier to talk about. Like I can freely talk about, my life, and it just instantly becomes kind of about It Works, because It Works is a lot of my life. It's given me the freedom to have the life that I do. It's everything for, my family. It's changed our lives. So it's very easy to talk about and also still be very personable and still relate with my very personal life. And so I think that if you have something that's like a business account and you're not putting it together with your personal account, you're doing yourself a big disservice, because people want to see your life and what It Works is doing through your life.
Yeah, and I feel like if you do, this is definitely like a personal choice if you want to do a business account, but I feel like when you do a business account versus your personal account, like people really can't duplicate that. Like I feel like you feel more real and more personable if it's actually your own account, because then they can see like, oh, okay, I can just simply use my own account and be real with people and just be me. Because if you have a business account, then they're like, okay, what do I have to do for that? And just gets so complicated. So just keep it simple.
Make it easy. Just make it you.
Exactly. Yeah. The more real you are, I feel like the more people you're going to attract in the end.
Yeah, totally.
Let's see. Another question is, okay. Can the following work with Facebook as well? As a guy, I don't really use Instagram as a platform. I think he's talking about like adding people. Yeah.
About what?
About like adding people and stuff. I know for like Facebook.
I think there's more limits on Facebook, like adding people. So that's why I only do like 10-ish a day. But I mean, yeah, you could add like 20 a day and like call it a day. Whatever works for you.
I know on like Facebook, because like a lot of the time, like when we like add like above leaders and stuff or whatever, you can simply just follow them. So I think you can definitely follow people instead of adding them. But I feel like if you want them to interact with you and like see your page, you definitely want to add them. So probably adding is probably the better option, because Instagram's all about following. Facebook like creating requests and friends. But that's really all I have, and that's all the questions that people have posted. So if you really don't have if you have any tips or advice that you want to share, you're definitely more than welcome to. If not, if no one else has any questions they want to ask, I think we're all good. Is that everyone good? No more questions? I
think honestly, the only thing that I could say to you guys is just be intentional. If you're being intentional with your time and you're being just so focused, you can work with whatever amount of time that you have. I didn't have a lot of time and I made it work for me. And it's just what your priorities are. If your priority is this business and, getting out of debt, finding freedom, being with your family more, make this your priority. Find pockets of time, because you can find those. It's just being intentional with what you have.
Absolutely. Just keep it simple. Like she literally
keep it simple. It's so simple.
Just like the list of what you should be doing: following, messaging, like posting, doing self-development. Like that's literally what we preach upon everyone. So if you're just doing that and using the most of your time, you're going to be successful. Someone was just asking. Okay, one more question, and then we'll be good. How long did you like and comment before you sent them a message?
Usually like a couple days. Like I don't try to like like, don't overcomplicate it. Like, if you feel like you have like an awesome thing going with somebody after like a few back and forth, message them. If you feel like, it's maybe going a little bit slower and it needs to be a couple more days, then do it. Just kind of just go with your gut and just build those relationships, and it will like be normal. Be like have a real conversation with somebody. And if you feel like, okay, cool, I could totally message this person, I bet she'll be receptive, but it's only been a couple hours, message them. Who cares? If you feel like you guys have built a relationship, then go for it. Just don't overcomplicate it.
Exactly. One more time, the 6 list or her set was, if you just want to repeat that, because someone react.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so my 6 list is, so first was reach out to 20 new people, and then follow 200 and unfollow 200. Then I would add 10 people on Facebook, and then comment, like, and interact. And it just, I don't know, some days I would do it on Facebook, some days I would take time and do it on Facebook or on Instagram, whatever, or I would take a little bit of time and do it on both. Then I would do follow-ups. Make sure I would post 5 times a day, 3 to 5 times a day. And then I would take a little bit of time for self-development. So whether it be, reading a book for a little bit, listening to a training in the car, whatever it was, that's it. So that's 7 things on my 6 list, but that's it.
It's really so simple. So just, like you said, don't overcomplicate it and use the best of your time. And as long as you guys are being consistent and working, you guys are going to be successful. I mean, there's no secret. And she literally just showed us that you can build yourself double diamond by being simple and just working your business. So thank you so much for
You're so welcome.
Zoom. I know everyone really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and it just reminded me to be simple and just use my time as we have.
Yeah, just don't overcomplicate it.
Exactly. Well, thank you again. Thank you everyone for joining us, and
you're welcome.
See you later. Bye guys.
Bye.